like that. I read the book of Job.
Sergeants, can we close those doors in the back, please? Thank you. Council members, please take a seat. Council members, please take a seat. Quiet down, please. Quiet down, please. Take your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please place all electronic devices to vibrate. Madam Majority Leader, it's all yours.
Recording in progress.
Good afternoon and welcome to the stated meeting of October 29, 2025. I am Majority Leader Amanda Farias and I'd like to thank you for joining us. If you would like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on our website. On behalf of the body today, I welcome the members of the public who have joined us. During stated meetings, only members of the council may speak. Members of the public shall remain silent. If you wish to express your support of any remarks, you may make the silent approval gesture. I want to remind my colleagues that decorum is to be respected at all times. Insulting each other is not appropriate. All remarks are to be addressed to the chair and members shall not speak unless recognized by the chair. It is essential that even if we disagree, we treat each other with respect.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Roll call.
Abreu,
Present.
Aviles, Ayala,
Here.
Banks,
Here.
Botcher,
Here.
Brannon,
Here.
Brewer,
Here.
Brooks Powers,
Present.
Caban,
Present.
Carr, De La Rosa,
Here.
Dinowitz,
Here.
Felder,
Here.
Feliz,
Here.
Gennaro.
Here.
Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Folks, please silence your electronics.
Did I miss Hanks? Holden.
Here.
Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marmorato.
Present.
Marte.
Present.
Mealy. Menon.
Here.
Morano.
Here.
Moya.
Here.
Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse.
Here.
Osei.
Here.
Palladino. Powers. Wrestler.
Here.
Riley.
Present.
Salam. Salamanca.
Present.
Sanchez.
Present.
Schulman.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Ung.
Present.
Vernikov. Williams.
Present.
I'm sorry, Williams?
Present.
Oh, thank you. One.
Present.
Zhuang.
Here.
Ariola.
Present.
Farias.
Present.
Speaker Adams.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now have today's invocation, which will be delivered by Reverend James Thornton, Senior Pastor of Salem Missionary Baptist Church, which is located at 305 East 21st Street in Brooklyn.
Let us pray. Dear God, we come into your presence today, recognizing that you are the creator and maker of everything. Your word reminds us that in the beginning you created the heavens and the earth. You breathed into us mere mortals, and we became living souls. We beg that you allow us to see the Imago Dei, the image of God, the divinity of God, in each of us. We thank you for our political leaders, especially in this moment. We ask that you would pour your benedictions upon our council members and all elected officials. We pray that you would grant them wisdom, insight, and courage to fight for the needs and interests of your people. Today, we live in a polarized governmental system. We beg that you would melt stony hearts and give our leaders hearts of love and compassion. Finally, we ask that our political leaders, as they gather together to deliberate and work on behalf of your people, they would hear the words of the prophet Micah. What doth the Lord require of us but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God? We pray that even now you would make the crooked places straight and the rough places plain, and that your glory would be revealed, and that all flesh would see it together. We ask now, O God, that you would hear our prayer, incline your ear to us, and grant us these petitions. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you. I would now ask Councilmember Rita Joseph to spread the invocation on the record.
Thank you, Majority Leader Farias. It is my honor. Go ahead. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please continue.
Thank you, Majority Leader Farias. It is my honor to have today's invocation be speared by Reverend Dr. James A. Thornton, the esteemed pastor of Salem Missionary Baptist Church in the 40th Council District. For nearly 4 decades, Dr. Thornton has dedicated his life to faith, education, and community. He constantly reminds me and others that faith is not just what we speak, but how we serve. As the 6th pastor of the Salem Missionary Baptist Church, Dr. Thornton has continued a legacy of spiritual leadership while building bridges between this church, our schools, and our neighborhoods. His ministry extends beyond the sanctuary, empowering young minds through education, nurturing families, and bringing hope to communities here in New York City and across the globe. He embodies what it means to lead with compassion, purpose, and a belief that when we lift others, we all rise. Beyond the pulpit, he's a teacher, mentor, and a global missionary bringing faith and service to communities here in New York and abroad. Thank you, Dr. Thornton, for joining us today. With that being said, I make a motion to spread today's invocation on the record.
Thank you. We will now ask Councilmember Chiosei for the adoption of minutes.
I make a motion that the minutes of the stated meetings of October 9th, 2025 be adopted as printed.
Messages and papers from the mayor.
M177, Mayor's Management Report.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
M178 through M187, mayoral appointments.
Rules, privileges, and elections.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
None.
Petitions and communications.
None.
Land use call-ups.
M188 through M190.
Thank you. I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on all of today's land use call-ups.
Abreu.
Aye.
Aviles. Ayala.
Aye.
Banks.
Aye.
Botcher.
Aye.
Brannon.
Aye.
Brewer.
Yes.
Brooks Powers.
Aye.
Caban.
Aye.
Carr. De La Rosa.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Felder.
Aye.
Feliz. Aye on all. Gennaro.
Aye.
Thank you. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Hanif.
Aye.
Hanks. Holden.
Aye.
Hudson.
Aye.
I got you. Yeah. Joseph.
Aye.
Krishnan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Marmorato.
Aye.
Yes, thank you. Marte.
Aye.
Mealy. Menon.
Request permission to vote on today's land use call-ups and all items under general orders.
Permission granted.
Thank you. I vote aye on all.
Morano.
Aye.
Moya. I vote aye. Thank you. Narcisse.
Aye.
Nurse. Osei.
Permission to vote on all the items on today's agenda.
Permission granted.
I vote aye on all with the exceptions of M184, M185, M186, M187, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Palladino. Powers.
Aye.
Wrestler.
I am reading. I request permission to vote on all items on today's agenda.
Permission granted.
I am going to vote aye on all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Riley.
Thank you. Majority Leader, permission to vote on all items on today's agenda.
Permission granted.
Aye on all.
Salam. Salamanca.
Permission to explain my vote.
You can solely ask for permission to leave early. There's no discussion on there's no discussion on land use call-ups.
So I would like to disclose on the record.
Disclosures.
I would like to disclose on the record of the council proceedings that we are voting on a land use application regarding Gotham Health, and my spouse is associated with this entity, and I would like permission to vote on all land use and call-ups and items on the general call-ups.
Permission granted, and thank you for your disclosure.
Thank you. Aye on all.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Schulman.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Ung.
Aye.
Thank you. Vernikov.
Aye.
Williams.
I vote aye.
1.
Permission to vote on all agenda items?
Permission granted.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Zhuang.
Aye.
Councilmember Aviles, Land Use Call-ups.
Aye.
Thank you. Ariola.
I vote aye.
Farias.
I vote aye.
Speaker Adams.
I vote aye.
Councilmember Hanif.
Permission to vote on all items on today's agenda?
Permission granted.
Aye on all. Thank you.
Today's land use call-ups are adopted by a vote of 45 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. And we will now have communication from Speaker Adrian Adams.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to acknowledge the loss of Leobardo Hernandez, a 65-year-old grocery store worker who was assaulted and died on the job. We also lost Ander Jahir Bustamente Huanca, a 25-year-old window washer who died on the job. And last week, 52-year-old construction worker Jorge Sanchez died on a construction site. All workers deserve to be safe, and my thoughts and prayers are with their families and loved ones. Last week, we also lost a New Yorker to a fatal lithium-ion battery fire at an e-bike store in Queens. My heart goes out to their family and friends who are grieving. And while we've made progress on fire safety by passing laws to curb threats from dangerous lithium-ion batteries, we know there is still continued work to be done. Earlier this month, we lost Mike McKee, a New York City giant. Mike was a brilliant tenant organizer at Met Council on Housing and the Brooklyn Tenants Union, who founded the Tenants and Neighbors Coalition. In his lifetime, he brought thousands of New Yorkers into the tenant rights movement. My thoughts are with all those who knew Mike, and he will be greatly missed by our city and state. And today, we learned of the sorrowful passing of Rabbi Alvin Cass, Chief Chaplain of the NYPD, an Air Force veteran. Rabbi Cass joined the NYPD in 1966, serving our city for nearly 60 years. Rabbi Cass was a wise and trusted member of the NYPD, counseling officers and colleagues through times of tragedy, and my prayers are with his family and loved ones. May his memory be a blessing. Next, I want to welcome all of our remarkable scholars who are here today to participate in Foster Youth Day. These young leaders are learning how to use their voices to shape policy and drive changes in their communities. Thank you to our Children and Youth Chair, Councilmember Althea Stevens, for helping make this day possible. Everybody participating in the program, just wave your hand. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. We greet you. Last Monday was Diwali, the Festival of Lights. I hope our city's Hindu, Sikh, and Jain communities had a wonderful celebration. October 23rd was Hungarian Republic Day. The 24th was Zambian Independence Day, and today is Turkey's Republic Day. I wish all New Yorkers who are observing a meaningful celebration. Yesterday was National First Responders Day, honoring and thanking the brave people across our city who work hard to ensure our health and safety. We thank them all. October 31st is Halloween. So whether you all are trick-or-treating with your children or watching a scary movie or dressing up, I won't name any names. Be safe and have a lot of fun. As a reminder, early voting ends on November 2nd, and November 4th is Election Day. If you haven't already, please make a plan to vote with your neighbors, friends, and family. And finally, I want to wish a happy birthday to Councilmember Vicky Palladino, whose birthday was yesterday. She's not here today. Happy birthday, Vic. And Councilmember Oswald Feliz, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Oswald. Now let's move on to our stated agenda. First, we'll vote on the following land use items. The Jamaica Neighborhood Plan, the city's largest neighborhood rezoning in over 2 decades, that will deliver nearly 12,000 new homes, nearly 4,200 of which will be permanently affordable in my district and the districts of Council members Natasha Williams and James Gennaro. The plan spans 230 blocks in Southeast Queens, will map the largest mandatory inclusionary housing area ever created, and generate over 2 million square feet of new commercial and community facility space with 7,000 new jobs. The council secured over $413 million in new community investments, including for water and sewer infrastructure, parks and open space, transportation and public realm improvements, public health and safety resources, and cultural and educational institutions. As a longtime resident of Jamaica and a former co-chair of the Jamaica Now Leadership Council, this neighborhood rezoning is deeply important to me and my community. Our Jamaica is a thriving and vibrant community whose success is pivotal to the prosperity of Southeast Queens and our entire city. Its growth and transformation to a bustling residential, commercial, and transportation hub for local residents with opportunity to advance careers, build homes, and raise families has always been a top priority. I am so thankful to Council Member Dr. Natasha Williams, who led a community planning process for over 2 years, engaging with residents and community stakeholders to shape the vision and future of downtown Jamaica. The final version of the Jamaica Neighborhood Plan, with its level of neighborhood investment, housing affordability, and targeted commitments, would not have been possible without the work of this council and the community to negotiate for the public goods needed. I also want to thank, of course, the council's entire Planning and Land Use Division for their extraordinary work on this historic neighborhood rezoning, as well as our partnership with the Department of City Planning. Thank you, everyone. H&H River Commons 1225 Girard Avenue will facilitate the redevelopment of a portion of the NYC Health and Hospitals campus on Girard Avenue in Councilmember Althea Stevens District. It will allow construction of a 17-story mixed-use building with approximately 98 supportive units for single adults and approximately 230 affordable units for households earning less than 80% of the area median income. The development will also include approximately 6,000 square feet of community facility space, approximately 7,500 square feet of open space, specific floors allocated for clinical operations by H&H, and 75 parking spaces for staff and patients. Kingsbridge Armory redevelopment, applause, applause, will facilitate the adaptive reuse of the Kingsbridge Armory building in Councilmember Pierina Sanchez's district and the construction of a new 16-story residential building, including 500 permanently affordable units and ground floor retail on the adjacent National Guard site. This redevelopment will create several new uses for the Armory, including but not limited to a community facility and cultural space, office space, and a 17,000-person live event venue. ICOS Senior Living, the disposition of city-owned property to facilitate the development of affordable housing for seniors in Councilmember Tiffany Caban's district. This project is a result of the 2019 Seniors First RFP to redevelop city-owned parking lots and will result in a new 13-story mixed-use building with a total of 167 income-restricted apartments for seniors, as well as community facility and commercial space. Domino Site B, an application to make several design changes to an existing large-scale development in Councilmember Lincoln Ressler's district. It adds over 200 additional units, slightly increasing the tower height, removing a sky bridge, and adding balconies. 74 Bogart Street rezoning will facilitate the development of a new 7-story art storage facility in Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez's district. Taylor Wooden Estates will facilitate the development of 21 3-story buildings with approximately 63 affordable co-op units and recreation space in Councilmember Chris Banks' district. The council will vote on disapproval of the Ovies Place application for revocable consent to operate a sidewalk cafe in Councilmember Lewis's district. We will also vote on the following finance items. Resolution 1083, sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan, would authorize an increase for the amount to be expended annually in 7 business improvement districts and 1 special assessment district, and set the date, time, and place for the public hearing on the expenditure increase. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan concerns the establishment of the Coney Island bid in Brooklyn and sets the date, time, and place for the public hearing on its establishment. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would amend the district plan of the Lincoln Square bid to change the method of assessment upon which the district charge is based and authorize additional services for the district. The resolution would also set the date, time, and place for the public hearing of the local law authorizing these changes. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would establish a partial 40-year Article 5 tax exemption for 1 building in Councilmember Salam's district. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would establish a new 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for a 22-story building in Councilmember Salam's district. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would establish a partial 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for 9 buildings in the districts of Councilmembers Lynn Schulman and Robert Holden. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would approve a new designation and changes in the designation of certain organizations to receive funding in the expense budget. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would determine a 1% increase of the base property tax proportion for fiscal year 2026. Preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would amend and restate the resolution computing and certifying base percentage, current percentage, and current base proportion of each class of real property for fiscal year 2026 to the State Board of Real Property Tax Services. And a preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan would authorize the City of New York to levy property taxes for fiscal year 2026 to fund city and county government operations and pay existing obligations in accordance with state and local law. Today, we'll also vote on the following legislation. Resolution 969A, sponsored by Councilmember Kevin Riley, would designate October as a Black Boy Joy Month in the City of New York to celebrate the resilience, intelligence, creativity, and potential of young Black boys. Thank you to staff member Regina Paul. Resolution 501A, sponsored by Councilmember Shaker Krishnan, would call on the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign S2545A, A4846 to require school districts to send water safety informational materials home to students, parents, or guardians, and permit school districts to provide water safety instruction in schools for K through 12 students. Resolution 852A, also sponsored by Councilmember Krishnan, would call on federal officials to halt Social Security Administration office closures, restore staffing and funding, oppose privatization efforts, and enact legislation to secure long-term financing of the Social Security program to protect seniors and individuals with disabilities who depend on these benefits. Thank you to our staff members Chad Benjamin and Chloe Rivera. Resolution 1015, sponsored by Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa, would condemn Alden Global Capital's cuts and managerial hostility towards unionized New York Daily News staff and call on the hedge fund to reach a contract deal with the newspaper's union. We thank our staff member Elizabeth Arts. Introduction 1231A, sponsored by Councilmember Chris Banks, would require tax preparers to provide consumers with a receipt that includes an itemized list of all charges and fees. We thank our staff members Sarah Swain and Natalie Meltzer. Introduction 1016A, sponsored by Councilmember Eric Botcher, would require the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to design graphic images to accompany the written warnings by state law for gun dealers and licensing officers to display and disseminate. Thank you to our staff members Sarah Swain and Natalie Meltzer. Introduction 1290A, sponsored by Councilmember Julie Menin, would establish a new license category for self-storage facilities. The annual license would cost $295. DCWP would enforce this law and would have the authority to suspend or revoke a self-storage facility license. Thank you once again to our staff members Sarah Swain and Natalie Meltzer. Introduction 495A, sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan, would require self-storage facilities and storage warehouses to provide 60 days notice prior to increasing in occupant storage fees and restrict termination of occupancies without explanation. Thank you to Sarah Swain and Natalie Meltzer. Introduction 29A, sponsored by Majority Leader Amanda Farias, would require the Director of the Office to End Gender-Based Violence in consultation with the fire commissioner and police commissioner to develop a training program for first responders on how to recognize and respond to traumatic brain injuries that may result from domestic violence. Thank you to our staff members, Christopher Pepe and Sahar Moazami. Introduction 1132A, sponsored by Councilmember Oswald Feliz, would require the Department of Small Business Services to coordinate with city agencies to develop and deliver regulatory compliance assistance to small businesses within each borough. Thank you to our staff members, Luke Hamill and Rebecca Barilla. Introduction 1134A, sponsored by Councilmember Shekhar Krishnan, would require agencies that collect demographic information from individuals through form documents to include additional race and ethnicity options. Thank you to our staff members, Jayasri Ganapathy. Introduction to 111A, sponsored by Councilmember Alexa Aviles, would require the mayor or a designated office or agency to publish online and submit to the council an annual report on NYCHA dwelling units that were vacant during the immediately preceding calendar year. Thank you to our staff member, Sierra Townsend. We will also vote on a package of maternal health legislation. Last October, I raised the alarm that maternal mortality in our city is a public health emergency. I have publicly shared my own mother's struggles with her birthing process when she had me, which reflects that of so many Black women and patients of color. In New York City, dozens of New Yorkers die during and after pregnancy. Black New Yorkers are 6 times more likely to die of pregnancy-related causes than white women. We can prevent these tragedies. These disparities are a product of medical and structural racism that leave Black women and other people of color, immigrant and low-income New Yorkers at risk of losing their lives. This injustice is why my office and this council have prioritized the improvement of maternal health, convening the steering committee to build upon the existing work of advocates, midwives, doulas, providers, families, and community leaders. Today, after a year of convenings, the council is releasing a report that includes policy and budgetary actions and recommendations to help address this crisis. Ensuring maternal health for Black women and all New Yorkers requires that we improve its social determinants from mental health and poverty to stable housing and opportunity. This means confronting persistent inequities in our city as we address affordability for all. We know the solutions to the maternal mortality crisis, and we understand that this is a complex issue that won't end overnight. It will take years of sustained commitment from leaders across our city and state, working in unison to fix the patchwork of challenges that allow so many to fall through the cracks. Addressing this public health emergency will require the next administration and council to make it a priority. We owe it to our mothers, without whom there is no life, to get this right. Resolution 1087A, sponsored by Councilmember Lynn Schulman, calls on the New York State Department of Health to conduct regular reviews of New York Patient Occurrence Reporting and Tracking System, or NY-PORTS data, and to require hospitals to retroactively fill in missing data. Resolution 1086A, sponsored by Councilmember Chio Say, calls on the State Department of Health to create a new and separate occurrence code for maternal mortality and to standardize the definition of events reportable to NY-PORTS. Resolution 1085A, sponsored by Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse, calls on the NYC Health and Hospitals facilities to report adverse maternal health events to NY-PORTS based on an expanded and standardized definition. Resolution 1082A, sponsored by Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, calls on the State Department of Health to confidentially share data regarding adverse maternal health events from NY-PORTS with the New York City Maternal Mortality Review Committee. Resolution 868A, sponsored by myself, calls on the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign legislation that mandates Medicaid to automatically authorize coverage of validated blood pressure cuffs and monitors for pregnant people and fully reimburse healthcare providers who assist patients in their usage. Resolution 867, also sponsored by me, calls on the New York State Assembly to pass and the governor to sign S-172-A84, which would provide for annual increases of the weekly temporary disability insurance payments from January 1st, 2026 through January 1st, 2030. Resolution 64B, sponsored by Councilmember Tiffany Caban, calls upon the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign legislation that enables community health centers to be fully reimbursed for telehealth care services. Introduction 1393A, sponsored by Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, would require DOHMH to provide information to the public and non-obstetric healthcare providers on healthy living, nutrition, and managing chronic diseases during and after pregnancy. Introduction 1285A, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez, would require the DOHMH Commissioner to establish a program to provide free doula services to people in marginalized neighborhoods in all 5 boroughs, to train individuals to become doulas, and to help certain maternity hospitals foster a doula-friendly environment. Introduction 1284A, also sponsored by Councilmember Gutierrez, would require DOHMH to implement an education campaign for health professionals who provide care and support to patients during and after pregnancy about the safe use of medications to treat opioid use disorder. Introduction 1146A, sponsored by Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers, would require DOHMH to maintain a newborn home visiting program that offers free in-person and virtual visits from social workers, nurses, and lactation professionals to new parents during the first 12 weeks postpartum. And Introduction 1001, also sponsored by Councilmember Gutierrez, would require the creation of a multilingual automatic text message system that can send parents and guardians reminders and guidance about their children's health and development, including information like recommended medical checkups, vaccination schedules, and deadlines for early childhood education and public school enrollment. Thank you to all of the staff who worked on this effort, including Sarah Sucher, Christopher Pepe, Julia Goldsmith-Pinkham, Manor Butt, Joshua Newman, Christy Dwyer, Katie Salina, Justin Campos, Alejandro Carvajal, Rie Ogasawa, Smita Deshmukh, Sarah Liss, Sarah Mozami, Andrea Vasquez, Christina Yalamati, Elizabeth Arts, Danielle Picaro, Sasha Seeley, Lorraine Valentine, Santa Soriano Vasquez, and Julia Egos. Thank you all for your attention, and now I turn it back over to our Majority Leader, and I catch my breath. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We will now move into discussion of general orders, and I'd like to first recognize Councilmember Sanchez, followed by Banks, then Williams.
Thank you, Majority Leader, and good evening, everyone. First, Maria, Ben, Kim, Gerard, Brenda, Stephanie, Dylan, Carla, my team, just thank you for being with me every step of the way. Speaker Adams, from the before times, before elected office times, thank you for your support, the Bronx delegation, and my colleagues in government. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about yet because I haven't said it, but I'm talking about the Kingsbridge Armory, and I also want to thank Sandra Lobo, the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition, the 50 community organizations, parents, cultural leaders, faith partners who sat at the negotiating table, and the team at 8th Regiment Partners that listened, and even to the mayor. Thank you, Mayor, for your partnership in getting this to the finish line. Today's vote is deeply personal. I grew up in the shadows of, I told my husband I was gonna stand up. Today's vote is deeply personal. I grew up in the shadows of the Kingsbridge Armory, which is the size of 6 football stadiums. This building has long reflected both the immense potential of our community and the pain of decades of disinvestment. After 30 years of vacancy and 4 years of tireless work on this council, we are finally transforming that potential into promise. With a historic $375 million in public and private investment, a projected $2.6 billion in economic impact, and 500 units of affordable housing. This project will shape the future of the Bronx for generations to come. We are delivering a $130 million community benefits agreement, one of the largest in our city's history, guaranteeing local hiring, union jobs, support for small businesses, cultural programming, and real community oversight. This project brings new public investment, funding for our small business corridors, park renovations, community safety initiatives, and expanded after-school programs for hundreds of children across the West Bronx. 75% in my district who live below the federal poverty line. I will close on this somber note that I dedicate, Majority Leader, I apologize. I dedicate this win to 1-year-old Nicholas Feliz Dominici, who lost his life in daycare 2 years ago, and to Pamela Almonte, a beautiful 35-year-old neighbor killed just 3 days ago in front of the Armory. We deserve more. This investment is for you, Thank you, DJ Dr. Dirty Dev, and to my family, that's my husband, and my family. Today we prove that possibility doesn't just exist, it is created by our collective hopes, our shared struggle, and our dreams for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Sanchez. Recognizing Councilmember Banks, followed by Williams, then Majority Whip Brooks Powers.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader, and good evening, all. Today, I want to speak briefly on two items that represent what our work in the council is truly about. First, Intro 1231, a bill being voted on today, is about creating fairness and transparency in the tax preparation process. It ensures that both clients and tax preparers are on the same page by requiring itemized statements and recipients that clearly outline fees and services. This is about trust and giving working people clarity and protecting small business owners from disputes. It's a small but meaningful step towards making everyday systems fairer and more accountable for everyone who relies on them. Second, I want to highlight the Taylor Wootman Estates project in my district, an affordable home ownership development bringing more than 64 units to the East New York section of my district. This project honors the legacy of the former Councilwoman Priscilla Wootman and community leader Dennis Taylor, who were tireless housing advocates who fought for equality and opportunity for our neighborhoods. From day one, my office worked to ensure that this project truly reflected the needs of our residents, negotiating for parking, community space, and most importantly, home ownership, a home ownership model that allows working families to build wealth and stability. Both Intros 1231 and Taylor Wootman Estates speaks to the same core values, ensuring people are seen, heard, and treated fairly. Whether it's at the tax office or in the housing market, these are the kinds of efforts that help restore faith in government and make real tangible impacts in people's lives. I want to thank all my colleagues, the speaker, my staff, all the partners for their support. Together, we're proving that good policy, good community planning can go hand in hand to create lasting change. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Williams.
Thank you so much. Today is deeply meaningful for me and the people of Southeast Queens. For too long, our community has waited for investments, infrastructure improvements, and simply just to be seen. But today, the wait is over. When I first took office, I promised the people of Jamaica we would no longer be a footnote in someone else's plan. We would chart our own path, grounded in community, pride, and purpose. And that's exactly what we've done. The Jamaica Neighborhood Plan is more than a rezoning. It's a reinvestment in our people and our neighborhoods. For the past 2 years, we have listened in church basements, community centers, classrooms, and multilingual town halls. We held forums and a youth symposium where young people helped shape this plan. Residents shared their hopes, concerns, and ideas, and we built it together. This is what community-driven development looks like. And it's the kind of partnership that must always guide how we shape our city's future. This plan delivers on that promise. It will create nearly 12,000 new homes, including close to 4,000 permanently affordable units, the largest mandatory inclusionary housing area ever established in New York City. It will create jobs, support small businesses, and strengthen a downtown that reflects the vibrancy, ambition of the people that call Jamaica home. We are building a Jamaica that is walkable, vibrant, and thriving, a hub where people can live, work, and play, not just pass through. Together, we secured over $700 million in infrastructure and community investments, including what we secured through City of Yes for safer streets, modernized schools, upgraded parks, expanded healthcare access, and workforce programs that keep opportunity right here. Real change requires more than ribbon cuttings, it requires accountability. That's why this plan establishes the Downtown Jamaica Oversight Task Force, an independent body ensuring transparency, collaboration, and continued community voice. I want to thank my staff, the Department of City Planning, the Speaker's Office, our land use team, my colleagues, and most importantly, the residents, advocates, and community leaders who never gave up on Jamaica. Today, we are proving what happens when a city listens, when government and community work together, and when we dare to believe every neighborhood deserves investment, beauty, and hope. Thank you.
Recognizing Majority Whip Brooks Powers, followed by Councilmembers Gutierrez, Aviles, and Boucher.
Thank you. Today, the council is voting on Intro 1146, which expands the newborn home visiting program to reach families in all of New York City's Task Force on Racial Inclusion and Equity neighborhoods over the next 5 years. The newborn home visiting program provides free in-person and virtual visits for families with newborns during the critical first 12 weeks after birth. Through these visits, nurses, social workers, and lactation professionals offer health screenings, infant feeding support, safe sleep education, and referrals to community and mental health services. Right now, this program is only available in a handful of zip codes, including just 3 in Queens and none in Staten Island. Yet we know access to care during the postpartum period saves lives. 40% of maternal deaths occur within the first 42 days after delivery, and in our city, Black women are 9 times more likely to die from pregnancy or childbirth than white women. This bill sets a clear timeline for progress, expanding the program to 75% of priority neighborhoods by 2028 and citywide by 2030, while requiring regular reporting to ensure accountability and transparency. This is about giving every new parent the support they need, no matter the zip code, and about addressing the deep racial and geographic inequities in maternal health that persist across our city. I want to thank my co-sponsors and colleagues for their collaboration. Together, we are moving New York City toward a future where every family has access to the care, information, and compassion they deserve during the most vulnerable moments of new life. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Gutierrez, followed by Aviles, then Boucher.
Thank you so much, Majority Leader. It feels really meaningful to be passing yet another package of maternal health bills today. It's been almost 4 years since this council was elected, since the first majority women council was elected, the most diverse council was elected, and I'm going to tell you why all of that matters. It's because this council has centered our experiences, our communities in some of the best legislation. You're hearing today some of the amazing housing projects, because we've built the most housing projects, and you're going to hear today about strengthening and keeping Black and brown women alive, because we're passing bills that are strengthening maternal policy. We've passed more than 20 bills addressing maternal health already, and what's really meaningful is that the 3 bills that I'm passing today, they came from experts. The Safe Pregnancy and Opioid Treatment Act comes from the 2024 Maternal Mortality Review Committee's recommendations that revealed a growing number of pregnant women are overdosing. And so this bill will help create resources and empowerment for medical professionals that are working with women, and for women to also know that there is help out there for them and be able to keep themselves safe and their baby safe during pregnancy. Text for Kids came from the 5-borough child care report that says sending text messages is cost effective, and it worked during COVID. And so now if you are a new parent and you want to opt in, we can let you know when your child is expected to hit certain milestones, and you can be in the know. And that is what leadership looks like. And I just want to say quickly, I know I just want to shout out the doulas who are here today and that were part of my many roundtables. I know we have a lot more work to do, but we value so much the level of advocacy that you provide for folks in the room, and we know that we have a lot more to do, but thank you so much. And lastly, I just want to shout out WOVO. There's a project in my district, 74 Bogart, and they made a ton of commitments to the community: artisan residency, maintenance for a local park, improving sidewalks, a local hiring, and a jobs fair. So thank you so much for working with us and my community on that. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Aviles.
So today we're voting on Intro 111, which will require the administration to report on vacant units at NYCHA. This legislation will help us all have the data we need to ensure that New Yorkers have access to housing, and hold the Public Housing Authority accountable for any units that sit idle while New Yorkers sleep on the streets. I am proud of the gains that we made through negotiations on this legislation, including understanding how many units have been vacant for 30 days or more at the district level, demographic data that lets us know whether these are family-sized units, accessible units, or senior housing, whether these units have been tested for hazardous substances, and what efforts NYCHA has undertaken to ensure vacant units are promptly occupied. At a time when so many New Yorkers are struggling to find affordable housing and well over 5,000 apartments sit vacant in NYCHA, and so many people have waited for years for a public housing apartment, it is unacceptable for so many units to remain vacant. I want to thank the Speaker for helping to bring this legislation to the floor today, to Chair Banks, to committee staff, and to the District 38 team. But most importantly, I must thank the residents of public housing and advocates who helped shape this legislation before you today. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Bottcher.
One day in the not too distant future in New York City, someone's going to walk into one of the 14 gun stores that we have in New York City, and they're going to walk into that store to purchase a handgun for their home with the belief that that's going to make them safer, that that's going to make their families safer. Because of the bill we are passing today, on the wall of that gun store, there will be a graphic warning with a photograph that illustrates the dangers of firearm ownership. And you can imagine what that photograph might be. This law was inspired by cigarette packs in other countries. We've all seen them because imagery makes public health warnings more effective. This bill will direct the Department of Health to create graphic imagery. Picture a child reaching into a drawer next to a bed and pulling out a handgun. If this law makes one person think twice and change their mind about bringing a gun into their home, it will have done its job, because we know that firearms are exponentially more deadly, more likely to kill someone in the home than they are to be used in self-defense. This has never been done before in the United States of America. I am excited to let other cities and states know about this, because every gun store in America should have a warning, a graphic warning for consumers. I want to thank the Speaker and the policy staff and my staff and all the advocates who helped make this happen. Today, we're passing legislation that's going to save lives.
Recognizing Minority Whip Palladino.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like permission to vote on all land use items at this time and general orders at this time.
Permission granted.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Your vote?
I'd like to vote no on Reso 1100, Transparency Reso and Intro 1016A, and resolutions Reso 1015A. And yes on all the land use. Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else recognized to speak. Great. Just a friendly reminder to members on the floor as we move through the agenda towards votes to disclose your annual disclosures prior to voting on the items today on the agenda. Report of special committees.
None.
Reports of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Consumer and Worker Protection, intros 495A and 1290A, self-storage facilities.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1016A, firearm warnings.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1231A, tax preparers.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Finance, Reso 1083 and preconsidered Resos 1101 and 1106, business improvement districts.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered Reso 1100, Transparency Reso.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered Resos 1102, 1103, and 1104, Class Shares.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered Reso 1105, Property Taxes.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered LU 411 and Reso 1111 through preconsidered LU 413 and Reso 1113, Tax Exemptions.
Coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Governmental Operations, State and Federal Legislation, Intro 1134A, Collection of Demographic Information.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Health, Intros 29A and 1001A, First Responders Training and Automated Text Messaging System.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1146A, Newborn Home Visiting Program.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1284A, Opioid Education and Agonist Therapies.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Land Use, LU 345 and Reso 1114 and LU 346 and Reso 1115, Taylor Wooten Estates.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 373 through LU 378, Long Island City Neighborhood Plan.
Approved with modifications and referred to the City Planning Commission pursuant to Section 197 of the New York City Charter.
LU 383 and Reso 1116, New York City Health and Hospitals River Commons.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 384 and Reso 1117 through LU 386 and Reso 1119, ICOS Senior Living.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 387 and Reso 1120 through LU 391 and Reso 1124, Kingsbridge Armory Redevelopment.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 392, Long Island City Neighborhood Rezoning.
Approved with modifications and referred to the City Planning Commission pursuant to Section 197 of the New York City Charter.
LU 397 and Reso 1125, 74 Bogart Street Rezoning.
Coupled on general orders.
LUs 398 and 399, 78-01 Queens Boulevard Rezoning.
Approved with modifications and referred to the City Planning Commission pursuant to Section 197 of the New York City Charter.
LU 400 and Reso 1126 through LU 402 and Reso 1128 Domino Site B.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 403 and Reso 1129 Ovies Place.
Coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Public Housing, Intro 111A, Vacant NYCHA Units.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Small Business, Intro 1132A, Regulatory Education Services.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Women and Gender Equity, Intro 1285A, Citywide Doula Program.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1393A, Maternal Health Related Information.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
General Orders Calendar. LU 369 and Reso 1130 through LU 371 and Reso 1132, Jamaica Neighborhood Plan.
Coupled on general orders.
Resolution appointing various persons, Commissioner of Deeds.
Coupled on general orders, I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Abreu.
Aye.
Aviles.
Aye.
Ayala.
Aye.
Banks.
Aye.
Thank you. Botcher.
Aye.
Brannan.
Aye.
Brewer.
Yes.
Brooks Powers.
Aye.
Caban.
Aye on all.
Carr.
Permission to vote on land use call-ups as well as general order calendar items.
Councilmember, we're not allowed to vote out of order for the land use call-ups. We've already passed that on the agenda, so you can only vote on the current items for general orders.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to disclose on the record that in the transparency resolution that we're voting on today, the Jewish Community Center of Staten Island is being funded, and I am associated with that entity, and I'll be voting no on reconsidered resolution 1100 and introduction 1016A, and aye on the rest. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. De La Rosa.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye and all.
Felder.
Aye.
Feliz.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. Very proud of the bills that we're voting on today, including my bill, Introduction 1132A, which will protect small businesses from burdensome and unfair fines and regulations. Small businesses are the backbone of our local economies. They do so much for our communities. They stimulate local economies, they hire local people, they turn communities into vibrant places where people want to go to eat, shop, and spend time with their family. They do so much for our communities, but they face so many obstacles, including and specifically with regulations, which can seem confusing and burdensome, especially for the newer businesses. They face obstacles, and there's so much that we can do to help them. My bill will ensure that the city provides them with the specific resources and help needed related to compliance of regulations, so that our small businesses can be able to focus on what they do best, creating local jobs and making our communities vibrant. I want to thank Speaker Adams. Thank you so much for making sure that our small businesses are always put first. I vote aye on all, and I was going to seek permission to vote on all land use and general orders, but yeah, thank you. Aye on all.
Thank you. Councilmember Felder, clarification.
I abstain on Reso 1083.
Thank you. Gennaro.
Pass.
Thank you. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Hanks. Holden.
Aye on all except for Reso 1100, which I vote no.
Thank you. Hudson.
Aye on all.
Joseph.
Aye on all, and on the record in this transparency reso, my child is a student in the New York City public school system. Thank you.
What is happening? Where is all that?
Krishnan.
Permission to explain my vote? Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted. Apologies.
Don't worry. Just briefly, wanted to say I'm very proud to be passing Intro 1134 today, data disaggregation, to make sure that city agencies and to require city agencies report with more specificity racial and ethnicity data. This has been an issue that's very important for our Asian American communities, because for too long we have been lumped into one box and not visible, but we are invisible no more. And I want to thank CACF for all their work with the coalition on this issue, as well as recognize my predecessor, former Councilmember Danny Drum, who started work on this legislation during his time in the council. And with all of that, and also the disclosure that we are funding the New York City Public Schools, and my 2 children are students in the public school system, I vote aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Lee.
Aye on all, and also would like to disclose that in this transparency reso, we're funding DOE, and both my kids are students in the public schools. Thank you.
Lewis.
Aye on all.
Marmorato.
I vote aye on all with the exception of Reso 1100 and Intro 1016A. I vote no.
Thank you. Marte.
I vote aye.
Mealy. Morano.
Aye on all with the exception of Reso 1100 and Intro 1016A and Intro 1015A. On those, I vote no.
Thank you. Moya.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Narcisse.
I vote aye.
Nurse.
I vote aye.
Powers.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Salam. Sanchez.
Aye.
Schulman.
Aye on all.
Stevens.
I would like to vote aye on all, and a special shout out to all the foster care youth that's in the building today, and super special shout out to Parina Sanchez for passing the Armory today and holding it down for the Bronx.
Ung.
I and all.
Vernikov.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
I'd like to comment on Reso 1016A. I'd just like to say that there are already a lot of restrictions on gun ownership in the city and state. Some of these restrictions have been ruled unconstitutional. Gun ownership is not only our Second Amendment right, but its use is one of the best checks on government tyranny. It is the reason we're not the United Kingdom right now, whose government is jailing people for social media posts. And in our increasingly dangerous city, perhaps on the eve of electing a defund the police, demoralize the police perspective, the right of responsible gun ownership is an effective and necessary right of self-defense, especially for women today. With that said, I vote no on preconsidered Reso 1100 and Intro 1016A. Thank you.
Williams.
How would I? Oh, and disclosing for the record that I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the Queens Alumni Chapter, and also a faculty member of Lehman CUNY.
Councilmember Stevens.
I would like to disclose on the record that my daughter works for Presbyterian Hospital, and we're funding them today into this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Zhuang.
I'd like to disclose in the record my kids go to public school. DOE is in the list. And also, I like to abstain Intro 1134, and the rest I vote aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Carr.
Majority Leader, I'd like to request unanimous consent from the body to vote on the land use call-ups.
Recognizing that Councilmember Carr has made a motion to request unanimous consent to vote on the land use call-ups. Any objections? Hearing none, Councilmember, your vote on land use call-ups?
Aye on all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gennaro.
I vote aye on all, with the exception of Intro 1016A, on which I vote no.
Thank you, Councilmember. Ariola.
I'd like to disclose for the record that my son works for the DSNY, which is on the transparency resolution. I am voting no on Reso 1100 and Intro 1016A, and aye on all the rest. Thank you.
Farias.
I vote aye on all.
Speaker Adams.
I vote aye.
All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 47 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of Intro 1016A, which was adopted by a vote of 40 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. And Resolution 1100, which was adopted by a vote of 40 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. And Resolution 1083 and Intro 1134A, which were adopted by a vote of 46 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 1 abstention. And the revised land use call-ups vote is 46 in the affirmative and 0 in the negative. Introduction and reading of bills.
All bills have been referred to committee as indicated on today's agenda.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We will now move into Thank you for abiding by the rule of a hand gesture, kinda, sorta. We will now move into the discussion of resolutions, and I'd like to first recognize Councilmember Caban, followed by Narcisse, then De La Rosa.
Thank you. I'll be super brief.
One second, Councilmember Caban. If you are leaving the chambers, you must do so quietly.
Congrats to the folks in the balcony. Community health centers are lifelines for working-class New Yorkers, immigrants, and families of color. Telehealth proved during the pandemic that it saves lives and it removes barriers to care. We should be expanding access, not cutting it off. And so this resolution is about making sure every New Yorker can see a doctor, no matter their zip code or income, and I ask that folks join me in voting aye on it.
Thank you, Councilmember Narcisse.
Thank you, Majority, and thank you, Madam Speaker. Every mother deserves to survive childbirth and thrive afterward. But too many do not. Here in New York City, far too many lose their lives every year, particularly in the brown and black community, and far more experience life-altering complications. Resolution 1085 calls on New York City Health and Hospital to take a simple but powerful step and fully report adverse maternal health events using a clear and standardized definition that includes complication at least 30 days after birth. Without accurate and consistent data, we cannot solve this crisis. With it, we can shine a light on where systems are failing and make the changes needed to save lives. As a nurse, I have seen how even the smallest of gaps in the reporting can have devastating consequences. This will help close these gaps and help protect the right of every mother and be safe and care during the childbirth. I'm proud to pass this bill, and I want to say thank you to all the legislative body that helped with the bill, and of course my speaker to bring it to the floor. And I would like to
your time has expired.
I would like to disclose. You don't want me to disclose?
Disclosures are already over.
That my living partner is associated to NYU hospitals. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember De La Rosa.
Thank you so much. For 106 years, the Daily News has been the watchdog and a storyteller for New York City, bringing breaking news, community voices, and critical coverage to doorsteps and street corners across our 5 boroughs. The free press with robust coverage is a cornerstone of democracy. And right now, the Daily News and many newsrooms across the country are being swallowed up by venture capital firms looking for marginal profits and not prioritizing journalists who are tasked with telling stories of millions of people. Today, only 65 total Daily News employees are tasked with operating a newsroom and telling the stories of 8.5 million New Yorkers. For 3 years, the Daily News Union and CWA News Guild have gone up against a profit-driven predatory venture capital firm, Alden Global Capital. Pay raises haven't happened in over a decade for our hometown paper with top journalists, writers, and reporters, and their asks aren't revolutionary. Standard benefits like paid leave and retirement matching, job protections and benefits for part-time staff, and security against permanent subcontracting. In a city as expensive as ours, these are basic protections. And so I ask our colleagues today to support Reso 1015. Thank you.
Seeing no one else signed up to speak, we will now have a voice vote on today's resolutions. If you wish to vote against or abstain from any of today's resolutions, please notify the Legislative Documents Unit by email or by approaching the dais. I'll now read today's resolutions into the record. Resolution 64B calls on the New York State Legislature to pass and the Governor to sign Senate Bill number 3359 and Assembly Bill number 1691, legislation that enables community health centers to be fully reimbursed for telehealth care services. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 501A calls on the New York State Legislature to pass and the Governor to sign Assembly Bill number 1080 and a companion bill in the Senate to require school districts to send water safety informational materials home to students' parents or guardians, and to permit school districts to provide water safety instruction in school for K through 12 students. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 852A calls on the United States Congress and the President to take steps to protect Social Security. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 867A calls on the New York State Assembly to pass and the governor to sign Senate Bill number 172 and Assembly Bill number 84, which would provide for annual increases of the weekly temporary disability insurance payments from January 1, 2026 through January 1 of 2030, so that such payments achieve parity with weekly payments available for those on paid family leave. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 868A calls on the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign Senate Bill number 8541 and Assembly Bill number 8946, legislation that mandates that Medicaid automatically authorize the coverage of validated blood pressure cuffs and monitors for pregnant people and fully reimburse healthcare professionals who assist such patients with their usage. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 969A designates October annually as Black Boy Joy Month in the city of New York to celebrate the resilience, intelligence, creativity, and potential of young black males. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 1015 condemns Alden Global capital cuts and managerial hostility towards unionized Daily News staff and calling on the hedge fund to reach a contract deal with the newspaper's union. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 1082A calls on the New York State Department of Health to confidentially share data regarding adverse maternal health events from the New York State Patient Occurrence Reporting and Tracking System with the New York City Maternal Mortality Review Committee. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 1085A calls on the New York City Health and Hospitals facilities to report adverse maternal health reports to NIPORTS based on the expanded and standardized definition of adverse maternal health events, including adverse events at least 30 days postpartum. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 1086A calls on the New York State Department of Health to create a new and separate occurrence code for maternal mortality and to standardize the definition of events reportable to the New York State Patient Occurrence and Reporting Tracking System. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 1087A calls on the New York State Department of Health to conduct regular reviews of NIPORTS data and to require hospitals to retroactively fill in missing data. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and we will now move into general discussion. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Caban, followed by Dinowitz, then Lewis.
Thank you. I am proud to be introducing Amanda's Law today. In my district 1 year ago, Amanda Cervedio was biking home, and then she was hit by a car. The driver who hit her was being chased by the police. He was a suspect in a nonviolent offense, but after the chase, Amanda ended up dead. And this is not an outlier. It's a problem that we can fix. And around the country, 93% of people killed in high-speed police chases were not drivers being pursued because they were suspected of violence. They were bystanders, passengers, people like Amanda. Amanda's Law is the solution. Officers should never start a high-speed chase if they believe someone just committed a nonviolent offense and doesn't pose an immediate danger to others. Safety experts, researchers, and police chiefs agree, and other cities in New York and around the country already do it. Commissioner Tisch implemented a new policy this year that is improving this issue, and it is the council's responsibility to strengthen it and enshrine it in law. And if this law had been in effect a year ago, Amanda might still be alive today. And so I urge all of my colleagues to sign on as co-sponsors to Amanda's Law. And I want to use the rest of my time to talk about some of our constitutional rights and tyranny. Our colleague talked about the danger of tyranny and what does or doesn't flag such a threat. And I actually happen to agree that pictures on social media shouldn't result in individuals getting imprisoned. So perhaps the black and brown men that find themselves on gang databases based on social media posts shouldn't be there or be arrested based solely on that. In addition, if we're talking about tyranny and consequences for social media posts, I agree. We should have the First Amendment and a free press and make sure that we are not punished for political speech, which is happening right here in this city under a Trump administration. So I'm glad we can find some points of agreements on some things. It's a fine bipartisan position, but I also want to be clear that I was very proud to vote in the affirmative for Councilmember Bottcher's bill. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Dinowitz, followed by Lewis, then Brewer.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. I think all of us in this chamber see it all the time, these new buildings popping up in our community, these new city-subsidized buildings, and invariably 70% of these units are studios and one-bedroom apartments. And this is by design. This is what HPD incentivizes with their term sheets. This ratio is directly on their term sheets. So it shouldn't be too surprising that if the housing we're building, that we are subsidizing as a city, is not designed for families, we are going to continue to see these awful reports of more and more children living in shelter, and these reports of families with young children fleeing New York City. And families with young children are leaving New York City at a higher rate than any other demographic group. So today I'm introducing introduction 1433. And what this bill does is it sets minimum percentages of units that receive city funding, B2 and 3 bedroom apartments, based on the actual population data in our city, not something contrived by HPD. We are going to be building more 2 and 3 bedroom apartments designed for families with children, the same families that are living in shelter, the same families that are exiting New York City. And I urge my colleagues to sign on to 1433 to ensure that we have a greater supply of housing for families with children, the very type of housing that we need to be building more of in this city. Again, I urge you to sign on to 1433. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Lewis, followed by Brewer, then Morano.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Today I'm going to introduce 2 bills to protect our children and empower their families. The first, Intro 1439, would require at least 1 school crossing guard at every public and private school serving students from kindergarten through 8th grade. Every year we fight in budget hearings for the most basic necessity, getting our students to school safely. Yet schools across my district in Central Brooklyn have been denied crossing guards for years because they were deemed not a priority. This is unacceptable. After a horrific crash outside of Cortello Academy in Flatbush sent a young student and his mother to the hospital, it took community pressure and direct intervention just to secure 1 guard. Parents at Great Oaks Elementary face the same fear every day. No guard, no crosswalk, no speed bump, only risks. The safety of our children must never depend on zip code or school type. The second bill, Intro 1438, expands the use of safe time so that parents can attend school-related events, like parent-teacher meetings, IEP conferences, or disciplinary hearings without fear of losing wages or their jobs. Principals across my district remind me constantly that students' success depends on engaged parents. Yet only 23% of private sector workers have access to paid family leave, and among the lowest paid, just 12% do. This gap hits hardest for single mothers and caregivers of color who face impossible choices between economic survival and their child's education. I encourage my colleagues to sign on to these bills and to affirm that safety and opportunity go hand in hand in protecting our children's futures. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Brewer, followed by Morano, then Holden.
Thank you very much. Intro 1428 would require third-party delivery services to share trip and other data with city agencies to ensure compliance with safety regulations enacted by the City Council. Any sharing would not be able to be shared. It would not be in any form that could be shared with any other agency. Delivery workers are the largest, about 80,000, and most active group of micromobility riders in our city. We can rein in unsafe riding and take care of the deliveristas by recognizing that rapid home delivery at the click of a button incentivize behavior that is inconsistent with safe travel on our streets, mostly thanks to the apps. The City Council has made progress in this area. I passed Local Law 133, which requires delivery services to ensure delivery workers complete a safety course and establishes penalties for companies for the apps that fail to enforce safety requirements. Comprehensive e-bike and micromobility safety reform is achievable. We'd like to pass into 1332 by Councilmember Brannan to prohibit delivery work deactivations. Into 972 by Councilmember Powers to make sure that verify mopeds that should be registered with the DMV. And intro 1448, which I think is on the agenda today by Councilmember Schulman, to make sure that the delivery services obtain a business license from the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. I'd like to thank Sam Goldsmith from my office and Sarah Swain, our great partner in the Legislative Division. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Morano, followed by Holden.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. I want to take a moment to address something that matters deeply to my constituents and really to anyone who believes in fair elections. This week, a lawsuit was filed challenging the boundaries of New York's 11th Congressional District. Happens to be the only Republican-held seat in New York City, representing Staten Island and part of southern Brooklyn. Now, redistricting, as we all know, can be complicated, but this isn't about fairness or representation. It's just about politics. It's an attempt to undo in court what the voters of Staten Island decided at the ballot box repeatedly. What's especially ironic is that the lawsuit claims minority voters are being disenfranchised in a district represented by the first Hispanic and minority member ever elected there, Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis. It's not just ironic, it's absurd, quite frankly. The people of Staten Island and South Brooklyn deserve to choose their own representative, not have that decision rewritten by national political lawyers who've likely never set foot on the Staten Island ferry. Our borough may be small in size, but it's big in heart and even bigger in pride. We stand for fairness, for democracy, and for trusting voters to make their own decisions, even when those decisions upset the political establishment. So I'll just say this. You can try to redraw the lines on a map, but you can't redraw the character of Staten Island. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Holden.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Today I'm introducing legislation that will help boost an invaluable safety net that assists our veterans who are going through the criminal justice system. Intro 1436 will create a Department of Veterans Services administered fund for Veterans Treatment Court mentors who spend their free time and money to help guide our veterans who have found themselves on the wrong side of the law. These are volunteer mentors, by the way, folks. They don't get paid. They help veterans who are in the criminal courts. So that's a terrific tool, and this is important legislation. I personally spoke. I met with a Queens Treatment Court judge who opened my eyes to the lack of funding for the treatment court system. She pointed out a problem that the council can fix, and this is a very important tool. Right now, mentors for veterans, like I mentioned in the criminal justice system, must spend everything out of pocket. This legislation will help them pay for small things like travel, lunch, and reasonable expenses. With this fund, they will be able to focus on their important work and be recognized as an important part of the criminal justice system. Please join me in helping those who are helping our most vulnerable veterans. Thank you. And this is, again, a volunteer effort, and we don't have that many. We have maybe one or two mentors in the whole 5 boroughs, all 5 boroughs. So let's get behind this. This is a win-win for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else signed up to speak, I'll now call on Speaker Adrian Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. The stated meeting of October 29, 2025 is hereby adjourned.